Hey, all right. So today we're going to talk about Below Deck Season 8, Episode 16. And also I'm gonna do a little recap on the whole season since I didn't keep up with all of the videos the way I should have for real. But we're gonna start off by talking about the episode. Okay. So the episode opens up with Elizabeth getting fired. Elizabeth was very shocked to be getting fired. And I was confused. Like, what, I mean, why are you shocked? What is going on with you? Elizabeth, I just don't understand it. You didn't do your job. You did not do your job. Good, at least. Let's just say that. You didn't do it good, at least. Rachel wanted to fire her. I'm sorry, Francesca wanted to fire her a long time. And she made it through. For whatever reason, Captain Lee was like, wanted her to have another chance. For whatever reason, because of what the boat was going through. But Francesca like, look here. Can't take it no more. This girl got to go. I'm tired of this chick. She just got to go. I'm sorry. So she just had to go. She got fired. Ashley and Francesca was willing to be short if they couldn't get nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because they just didn't want her. They felt like she wasn't pulling her weight on a boat. And to be very honest, from what I've seen, it looked like she wasn't pulling her weight on the boat. So unfortunately, they had to get rid of her. I mean, she did almost kill him, mixing that bleach and what it was, the bleaching and something, and it end up in like a mustard gas. They say they used in World War II and all this old foolishness. She could have blew the whole boat up. Like, she should have been fired then. Because I specifically told you needed to go outside if you was gonna be using the bleach, and she did. But anyway, moving on with that. Rachel gets pissed that Elizabeth got fired. Bad shit crazy. Rachel is bad shit crazy. She needs to be on some type of medication, and like, for real, she needs to get on some damn medication, because her ass has got to be bipolar or schizophrenic, or I ain't gonna say schizophrenic, but bipolar, some type of mood disorder. It's something. She got something going on with her ass, because that bitch is crazy. She got mad as hell, and I know, like, let's not forget when she's like, suck my dick or whatever, eat my cooter or whatever the hell she has said with to Captain Lee in a meeting when it was going over the people preferences. I mean, she's just a weird one. She is a weird one. But at this point, they got 2 charters left. They're willing to go through into the 2 charters, being down a member with one of the charters. She didn't want to take that chance with the last charter, and which I think was smart that she didn't do that, because they were high demanding guests. And so she she made the right call by leaving Elizabeth as is, considering they couldn't get nobody at that time. Now, Elizabeth, let's talk about her and the whole getting fired situation real quick. Okay, so she act like she didn't understand why this was happening. She act like that Francesca hadn't had several conversations with her. She act like she didn't know that she had broke several rules. She act like it wasn't a big deal. The fact that she stayed in the guest cabin with James, she act like it ain't a big deal that Francesca catches you talking to James on several occasions when you are supposed to be working. You act like it's not a big deal. You're supposed to be tending to the guests and you're downstairs dealing with James. And the people want drinks and shit. And they paying all this money. They paying your salary. I mean, directly, indirectly. They pay your salary, period. Because if people won't go on the trips, then they don't need nobody to serve nobody on the trips because there would be nobody to serve. So I just was confused at Elizabeth, to be very honest with you. I just really was. So she said she was scared, and she said, and I don't want y'all to think I'm laughing about that because I'm not. But she said she was scared to go home because of the whole COVID situation, because they kind of been in a bubble, with everything, that the rest of us had been dealing with. They kind of had been in a little bubble about that. So she was scared. She had some anxiety about going back home because she lived in New York. And as we know, New York was hit really, really hard initially with COVID. So she got to go home. James is relieved because now he don't have to tell her, I don't want to be with you. You see how he ducked her the whole time into the end? I'm going to walk your bags. See, can't do much talking because I got to get back to the boat. I still got to work. See what I'm saying? James. What was messed up though is because Rachel and Izzy had put together the whole thing where the birthday cake was supposed to come when the crew had went out for dinner before the charter guests had came on the following day. So Rachel had organized it for the cake to come out, and everything went downhill because Rachel is unsteady. Rachel is unsteady for real. Let's talk about this cake real quick. So the cake comes to the table now. I want to know, did anybody else really peep the fact that James is Pettyville? I'm telling you, because Izzy had already told him that Rachel had got the cake. She already had told him early in the day that she had got the cake and that they was gonna bring it during dinner. So for the fact that he says, am I the only one that really wants dessert? Like, you wanted them to bring the cake. Like, you wanted to be funny, pretty much. You were the one that was, if anything, gloating over the fact that Elizabeth was gone. And that was because of your own personal reasons. That ain't had nothing to do with the job. But it was because of you that I believe she was not doing her job the way she was supposed to, because she trying to be up under you. And also she doing shit that she ain't supposed to be doing because she fucking with your ass. So the cake come. Is laughing. James is laughing. Francesca cut the cake. What you do that for? You shouldn't even fuck with that cake. Because Rachel took all of her frustration and her anger out on you. You know what I'm saying? I think Rachel did feel a little disrespected for the fact that she bought the cake, whatever, whatever. I feel like that Bravo probably paid for the cake, because I believe Bravo pays for like the cast dinners and stuff like that. Um, so I don't believe necessarily the cake came out of your pocket, but let's just say the cake came out your pocket for a minute. Cake came out your pocket, so you feel disrespected. I would feel disrespect for the fact y'all cut the cake, you know what I'm saying, without asking me, is it okay, or what you want to do with the cake? Do you want to send the cake back? You know, just saying something, even though, nah, you motherfucker ain't gonna really send the cake back or nothing like that. But at the same time, y'all didn't pay for the cake. Y'all cutting the cake. Whatever. I don't think it was that serious, but it was, hey, to each his own. She ordered it, she organized it, she got a right to be upset about it. All right, whatever. Did she go too far? Did she go too far? I think she went too far. But I think that's her personality. And that's why I said I think she needs to be on some type of medication, because, you know, I don't necessarily feel like stable minded, rational people go from 0 to 20 like that over something so small. But at the same time, she been pissed all day. So uh, it's kind of hard, because for her, I guess like a build up all day of this foolishness I've been having to deal with. Y'all to fired my home girl, she been kicking it with me, calming me down, saying we got each other back and all this and that, you know. So, Rachel was brewing all day. She wanted to quit. I mean, and as we see, she ended up going to Captain Lee. She wanted to quit, but Captain Lee had told her, like, look, it's 6 more days. I need you to do your job for 6 more days. Period. That's what I need you to do. Stop worrying about what is not concerning to you right now. Francesca done put up with a lot dealing with this bitch and her not doing her job. She's been under a lot of stress. So I understand you made friends with her, but it is what it is. That's not your job. Your job is to cook, and I need 6 more days out you. Period. And I was actually glad that he said it to her, that, like that. He didn't say it, of course, how I said it, but how he has said it to her, because I think it did make something snap in her. Because I mean, she does have a military background, so I think it did make something snap in her, where she was like, you know what, I need to get a hold of myself. This is a job. I'm supposed to be doing a job, and that's that. So I think that was good. Um, so while we still kind of on the fact about Elizabeth getting fat, Eddie in his confessional has said that he felt like what Francesca did was evil. Do we really feel like what Francesca did was evil? I feel like Francesca did want to nip it in the bud because Ash had said in her confessional that it should have happened 4 or 5 chapters ago or whatever. I mean, honestly, it should have happened a while ago. It really should have. But I think Francesca was trying to give her time to correct herself, so to speak. She's telling you what the issue is, and she's expecting you to be an adult and correct the issue so that you'll be able to keep your job. Instead, she wanted to be combative with her superior several times. And I think in a situation like that, on living with your superior, so um, lines can get blurred, so to speak, and people will maybe speak to their superior in a manner where they would normally speak to your superior if you were just like going into the office and get to go home at the end of the day. That is their home for a certain amount of time. So you are constantly around and with this person. So I do think it may get a little easier for them to say things to their superior that you really shouldn't say, because she argued with her a lot. Like, and even after she fired her, when she's like, okay, well, you haven't been nice to me and da 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 da. Like, girl, she done fired you. You still you in one breath you like, can you talk to Captain Lee? You know what I'm saying? All this and that. Then you like, well, you haven't been nice to me. Pick a side and stick with it. Either you begging for your job or you that. I mean, I just feel like she should have seen it coming. She should have known when after she slept in that guest cabin that it was gonna be trouble. Period. Um, let me look over my little notes here. I wrote down. So I guess I'm gonna get into Rob and his behavior against Izzy when she made Lee deckhand, and he was very nasty to her. He didn't like the fact that a woman was over him. That's what it seemed like to me, because it ain't no way in the world you think that you was supposed to get lead that kind. I know you didn't think that. I mean, you didn't even have any freaking experience when it came to a mega yacht. Like, period. I don't care what kind of boat you been on. You ain't been on this kind of boat. Period. And that's how that go. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with people. Why do you think you should come in with no experience and you should rank higher than her? You don't want to listen to her. Mind you, sir, you came in the season late. Cause let's not forget we had other deckhands before you. So you came in the season late. You didn't have no experience in reference to mega yachts. I don't care what you did, with all that other stuff you did. They had to teach you, you had to learn, and it's a whole new situation from what you was dealing with. Okay. I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all. And I didn't like the fact that James tipped him off about the Izzy situation. But then again, I don't know. I can't really say I don't like that because it may have gotten um escalated too far if he hadn't tipped him off. So he had time to kind of think about the fact that he had been an asshole. I mean, because he really had me. So that's that on it. I ain't got too much for that. Um, I know Ash was happy that Elizabeth was finally gone because she felt like that Elizabeth did not do the work and a lot of stuff fell on her, which it did. Uh James was on the phone talking to his mama. James was on the phone talking to his mama, talking about it won't no hand sanitizer, no tissue, and it had to be in the house. For to be on quarantine pretty much. Just kind of telling him about what's going on in the rest of the world while they are on the ocean in the Caribbean. Uh, I do think Francesca tiptoed around Rachel because she didn't want to make Rachel mad because she knew Rachel's the chef and you need the chef in order to make these charters go. So I mean, I do feel like she did kind of walk on eggshells around uh Rachel. But I also understand Rachel's gripes with her in reference to service because like that Mahi Mahi situation, that was some BS to me. Because for the simple fact that if you look at that list, yes, she had two people named on that one line and it said Mahi Mahi. But imagine the fish is named Mahi Mahi. So you're cutting it down to make it shorthand. Okay. That's what you're doing. So it can make it quicker for you or whatever, however. But you're using a shorthand. Okay. And then everybody else on the list is listed singly. Just their name and their order. Their name and their order. Their name and their order. Just on the one line, you have two people's names in two order. So I can understand how Rachel kind of missed that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That was poor communication on the part of Francesca. The condiment situation. When she was saying, when they were having a conversation in reference to the condiments, first of all, you shouldn't have even asked the chef, is she going to take ketchup and relish? That's number one. That's not what she does. She is going to take the condiments that she needs to prepare the meals. The same, I'm going to say it one more time. The same as it would be if she was on the boat. You know, she wouldn't be fetching them ketchup, relish, mustard, none of that. You will be doing that. So why would you think she gonna pack that? Like, see, so I mean, I can understand Rachel issues with you too. For real, for real. Now, let's see. We'll move on. She used the word distasteful. I do think it was a little distasteful. I do think it was a little distasteful with the cake situation. I really do. Because number one, when the cake came to the table, all of them knew, unless all of them do know that Bravo pays for the meal. See, so that's why I have like a split opinion on it. I kind of can see it both ways because if Bravo is paying for the meal, it don't matter who ordered the cake. The cake here, the cake is for everybody. They're paying for the meal. If Rachel organized it, which we know she did, if she paid for the cake, then I can see her point of view on the situation in reference to saying it was distasteful, because it was distasteful in that aspect of it. They should have asked her, was it okay to cut her cake? Because it's her cake since Elizabeth isn't there. She bought the cake for Elizabeth. Elizabeth isn't there. So therefore, it's her cake. And they should have asked permission to cut her cake. But once again, I'm going to say, if Bravo is paying for the meal, then it's everybody cake. And bitch, get old. And that's that on that. So, Captain Lee, while everybody doing what they're doing, Captain Lee ends up. Oh no, let's stay on this for 1 second. Because Rachel ended up saying in her confessional that Francesca fired Elizabeth because she was not capable of training her. She's saying it was a training issue. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with it. It's a training issue. And the reason I'm going to say that is because, don't get me wrong, I do feel like everybody should have, be able to get trained on their job to be able to be more efficient and effective for their job. However, you can't go into every job with no experience. Some jobs require that you come in the door with a certain level of experience. Of course, they're going to, show you the ins and outs to be more effective and efficient for their particular setup, but they're expecting you to know certain things. Let's just be, let's just say this. Let's use this for an example. Okay, she's going to do the interior. So going and getting a job in the interior of the boat, they're already expecting you to know how to make a bed properly. You understand what I'm saying? Fold a towel. If you've never folded a towel or made a bed, maybe that ain't the job you need to go after. I mean, I know that sounds very simple because, making a bed is not complex and people can be taught to make a bed. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. Jobs require that you have a certain level of, you bring a certain level of skills to the table, period. They can teach you some things and some things can't be taught. They can't give you work ethic. You understand what I'm saying? They can show you how to do the job that is expected of you, but they can't give you work ethic. And if you don't have any work ethic, then you're not going to give a fuck. Point blank period. You don't give a fuck. She ain't give a fuck. All she wanted to do was run around and chase that motherfucker dude. Period. That was she wanted to do. And it came back to bite her in the end. She was making careless mistakes. Her biggest mistake was that whole bleach situation. And then she didn't even want to own up to that. So that showed her character. And that is what she continued to do for the rest of the season. To be very honest with you. Told you then she was something. I think I did. I believe I did. I believe I told y'all on the one review that I did do on Below Deck on the beginning of the season. I believe I told you I knew it won't go work out. Let's jump back to Rob with this laundry situation when Eddie had said that he needed to do laundry and wanted somebody to remove what out the laundry so he could do some laundry. Rob says copy that. Izzy ends up saying Rob is on his way. Rob goes off on Izzy, which was crazy. He's like, well, why would you say that? Da, 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 you throwing people under the bus and all of this and all of that. Okay, but it was your laundry. That is your superior. And Eddie is her superior. So I don't understand what you got mad at. For real, for real. It was your mess, right? Right? Okay. So you should have went to get it done. Her boss want to do laundry. I would have said the same thing to you, but I would have cussed your ass out. You wouldn't have said that to me. That's what you wouldn't have did. Then again, you would have said, but you wouldn't have said nothing else after that because I would have let you have it. Because at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. So we going to move on. Captain Lee ended up calling everybody for a meeting to pretty much tell them that the last two charters that they had canceled, so that pretty much their season was over. And I know Miss Elizabeth was happy when she seen that. When that aired, I know she was happy because I don't know if somebody had told her or what, but when she did see that, I know she was happy because pretty much you left one day and they left the next day. So everybody money was short. So you getting fired was actually a non-factor. Like for real, God looked out for you, girl. Really, because He kept you in that position all that time, and you were not doing a good job at all. Kept you there. The girl wanted to get rid of you, but for whatever reason, y'all was in a situation, and yeah, they couldn't get rid of you. Couldn't get rid of you. Couldn't get rid of you. Then finally, she like, yay, I can get rid of him. And she get rid of him. And boom. Everybody got to end up leaving the next day. So that was that was something. I know Elizabeth was gonna enjoy that when she see it. So the crew ended up wanting to have a little celebration. All right. To celebrate the fact that the season is over, they changed clothes, started having some drinks and stuff. All for Captain Lee, some glass of champagne. Captain Lee dampened the whole mood. I'm not feeling celebratory. And I love it. And I love it because let me see. I gotta hey Shantae. Oh, I ain't never had nobody actually look at me on here. But how you doing this morning? That's but what I was saying about, so let's go back to Captain Lee. And he not feeling celebratory. He don't want no champagne. And Eddie, it showed real growth in him from the past seasons of the fact that he said, well, it's okay that how Captain Lee feels. but it's okay to pretty much we want to still celebrate. And the fact that we close out the season is nothing that we can do to make the people, stay, as far as it's coronavirus. So, you know, it's what it is. Um, and that pretty much is it. I don't have anything else besides the fact that all of them are actually nervous about going home and possibly taking something back home, and the conditions of how they may find home, because they've been hearing all this information, but they hadn't been here to see what was going on. They were getting restrictions. For example, about Australia, you have to quarantine the 14 days at that time before you can go back into the country. So, everybody was pretty much nervous. Overall, I enjoyed Below Deck this season, and I look forward to season 9. I look forward to Captain Lee. And hopefully Francesca will return, and Ash, Eddie, Izzy, James. I like James. I think he should come back. I think he did better as the season went on as far as working. So maybe he should come back. Who else? I think that's everybody. Oh, Rachel. I'm not sure, but I think Rachel should come back if Rachel wants to. Rachel's so crazy, but if Rachel wants to come back, I think they should let her come back, because she definitely could cook. They all in loved her food, and I feel like that her and Francesca could um get in a better place with each other. So that will be nice. So I'm looking forward to season 9. I'm looking forward to the reunion. See how that goes. See what Elizabeth has to say to Francesca. Um, yeah. Looking forward to the reunion, y'all. All righty. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe.